You can hang out here. Hi, everyone. I'm Ken Rakowski, and that is Sandy Grigsby. And every week we come together and talk about things that are around the personal development, how to actually be great when it comes to social media or just your brand itself. And today's topic, I've been watching Sandy for the last couple of weeks working on her program, which is all around personal branding and personal confidence. And what she does is she beta tests her ideas with me. And through that process, I've kind of picked apart little things I think we should talk about. Now, if of course you want to go through her whole branding exercise, it's 9 weeks. It's deep. It's really deep. You can go to Sandy in Focus to learn more about that. But when I say it's really deep, just one video that you have to watch and really study is like an hour and a half long. That's just one of 9 weeks of videos. They go deep.
That's one. Yeah, that's one of them.
But they go deep. And I really mean deep because they make you question yourself, where you're at as yourself, where you're at when it comes to your business, your dreams, your aspirations. They go deep.
I like how you've taken notice of it all.
But they do. They go deep.
It's because we tested all on him.
Yeah, I'm the beta tester. Now, I even know that people that have gone through the program, they've cried because it really makes you self-actualize yourself. But today what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through something. I want to use you as kind of the oracle when it comes to this. Okay. And that is, it's conversations you need to have with yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Because most of the times we sit there and we start to Q&A our friends or the people that we're hanging out with going, what do you think? But maybe before we ask them, we should ask ourselves.
That's true.
Right?
You have to have trust in yourself. That's the actual purest form of confidence.
Is what?
It means trust in yourself. So if you don't have trust in yourself, how do you expect others to have trust in you?
I don't know. I think, Alan, you're the only one. No, Alan and Andrew, you both are in relationships. Marco, are you in a relationship? Are you single?
I'm single but not alone.
So Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Just that answer is very Italian. You know that, right?
I'm single, kind of.
I got it.
Who do you know?
And then Matt, are you single? Matt's single, I think. And Richard.
It's complicated, but yeah, more single than not.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, and then Richard, I know he's single by choice. Single by choice is what Richard Burke is at. Okay, but I believe, like I said, Alan and Andrew are in relationships. Now, the reason why I bring this up is in any relationship, personal or professional, confidence closes or seals the deal.
Yeah, it's so true.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you weren't attracted to me because of my great looks.
No,
it's
that was part of it, though. I did think you were pretty hot. But
Yeah.
the point is, it was your confidence.
On stage.
No, actually, it was before you even got on stage. I watched the way you walked in the door and the way you sort of postured around all the guys. Like, you knew this was your roost and you ruled it. And I was like, look at that guy. Ooh.
But as I hear you talk to your girlfriends, they say that confidence is the sexiest or the most attractive thing when it comes to.
Well, that's one reason why all the girls swoon over Richard Burke. Richard, I'm sorry, I just threw you into the bus. It's true. The girls see him, and I get so many private messages going, oh my God, Richard's so hot. He's just, his air of energy, just, oh my God, it just makes me swoon. It's his confidence. It's the way he's like when he speaks. He speaks like he knows what he's about to say. You know, sometimes we say stuff, we're like, we don't know where we're going. Well, he knows. It just sounds so fluid and confident. It just makes the women swoon. So,
and that's why Richard only talks about 2 or 3 things, because he has no confidence on anything else. That's it, right? He's very narrow on what he talks about. But confidence is that one thing that really draws anyone to what you know yourself. So I just see Bill Ryan just joined us. Okay, Bill is super confident in storytelling, messaging, positioning. And when he talks about it, it's like, whoa, I got to listen. I'm drawn to that.
It's like when you see someone who is, when you first see them, you don't really think they're that attractive, right? You're like, I wouldn't even pay attention to them.
Yeah.
But the moment they open their mouths or the way they command a room, you're like, and all of a sudden they just become more attractive. And this can go for men, women to men. It doesn't matter, man to man. You know when you feel the energy off of someone and you have an attraction. It doesn't need to be a sexual attraction. It's just an attraction. And it
is that power or confidence?
Confidence.
Because then I had a really weird adolescent attraction to Margaret Thatcher. But that was probably something else that I can't describe right now.
We're not gonna go there right now.
But in order to have confidence, those individuals
Yeah.
have asked themselves certain questions
Yes.
that has positioned them to feel like they understand where they're at and how to move forward.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Do we all have confidence?
I believe that everyone has an innate sense of confidence for something.
Okay.
So if you feel like overall you're not confident, you have to figure out what that thing is, and you have to call upon that thing and use that thing as your mirror. You got to look at it, you got to reflect it, and then you got to project it through other things that you do.
All right. So what I wanted to do today, again, I'm using you through all the studying and research and what you've done.
What he's saying is, I don't know the questions that are coming.
No, but what I did, what did I do?
He put them there.
I put them there. Do you like
They
what I
look
did?
good, yeah.
Right? So you know what's about to come. I'm not showing you up and go, here you go, surprise. I decided to give you a four. Do you like what I have here? You can see 1, 2, I have 6. I came up with 6. That's all I was able to come up with in the time that I had.
Good job.
Are you okay with the 6?
I'm okay with the 6.
Okay. So when we say ask ourselves questions, the first question I want us to ask ourselves is, what do you love? Now, when I say, what do you, are you good with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. These are questions you have to ask yourself. What do you love? Like, for example, do you love your family? Do you love your kids? Do you love the person you're with? Your job, your body.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay. Your body, your free time. Do you love your free time?
Do you love your environment? That's a big one.
And the reason why it's important is because you go, oh, I don't love that. I don't love the food I eat. Don't love my body. You automatically set that place to where you're at is not an in love place. It's not a place of good emotions, right?
No, that's exactly right.
So like, for example, what do you love?
I love the project I'm working on right now.
You do love the project.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love my environment.
Mm-hmm.
I love my friendships. I love myself. I love a lot. There's a lot. You know, there's a lot I love. I love waking up in the morning smiling. I love that.
You do?
Yeah.
You
I
always
love
like
it
that.
when you tell me at night that I just started laughing out of the middle of nowhere.
Did you always love those things?
No, not at all.
Did you know you didn't love those things? Like,
No.
were you sitting there going, God, there's something that's just not right?
I was sitting there going, God, what's wrong with me?
But you couldn't identify it because you did not see things that you were in love with.
Exactly. I had no idea what it was. I just knew that there was something wrong and I couldn't fix it.
Okay, and let's go to you guys right now because we want to make sure we're all on the same page working together. I want to go to Marco because, you know, Italians are, sorry, Marco, you're the chemist. We always go to the chemist first. I don't know why, I just made that up just
And
now.
Italians know love.
They
very
do
well.
love, right? Yeah, the French think they know it. The Italians perfected it. Just saying, okay? So Marco, what do you love?
So I wrote the purpose of my life. I said, I love the purpose of my life.
The purpose of your life, is that nebulous or is that?
Well, you're clear on what the purpose of your life is, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're kind of, are you sure you really love it?
I do, yes.
What is the purpose of your life, Marco?
To educate the world about nanotechnology.
Okay, so it sounds like you do know it.
Well, wait a second.
But you need to have a little bit more confidence in owning how much you know it.
So that's not the purpose of his life. That's the mission.
Okay. The mission.
Yeah, there's a mission and a purpose, which are two.
Yes.
So
that's true. That's a good point.
Your mission is to educate. Your purpose might be different. And to define those are important. Because if you look at what would happen if tomorrow nanotechnology becomes irrelevant. It's done. You know, we came up with something better. It's micro technology. Nano, passe. So 2020. All of a sudden, your purpose is gone.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, Americans specifically always equate their job to their purpose. And that's why Europeans go, man, Americans are all so messed up because they think their job, their work is their life. And that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
dig deeper. What is your purpose?
So I have to dig deep. Okay, I'll do that.
Well, let's go a little more surface first. Let's talk about the things you love. What do you love in your life?
I love, well, many things. My art collection. I love wine. I love soccer. I love my friends. I love metal. I love mountain biking.
See, I like that. This is really
Yes,
important. Those things that you love are kind of describing who you are. That's
yes.
your world. You love the world you're in with those things. I
Yeah.
I didn't know you love wine. That's a really cool thing. I love
He's
to.
Italian. Isn't that like default?
I think we should have a metal wine club. I'm just saying it might be a really good idea to do something like that. A wine night I'm not kidding. A wine night once a week. Remember all the guys coming together and have different
We've got
wines?
so much wine here.
Oh yeah. Hey, we are moving. I'm just gonna say we have a lot of wine we won't be able to take with us.
We're gonna have a
Just
wine
saying.
party.
You don't drink.
There's Al.
Party.
I'm right down the road. It's not a problem. It's easy. So, Marco, good idea. So now you know what you love and the mission you have, and that's a different question we'll go after. Your mission is to educate people about nanotechnology.
Yes.
Let me go over to Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Andrew, what do you love?
I love, I love the project that I'm working on right now. I really love it, and it does tie into my purpose, but I also love my son. I love my family. I love the ocean. I love being a part of metal. I love traveling when I can travel. Of course, we're all locked down now, but I love watching a sunrise from a mountaintop.
I do love that too.
Yeah.
I love those. Those are good loves. Those are great loves. So you know definitively what you love. I'm always concerned about something. You said it too, and Andrew said it. You love the project and you like the project you're working on. When that's gone, what happens now?
I think once I'm finished with this project, I can still love it.
You could still
I
love
can
it.
still love the project that I completed because then I can love talking about it and sharing it with others. And then that allows me to have that experience of loving that thing so much that I can put that love into the next project.
Got it. We go over to Bill Ryan, somebody who I love. I mean, I really love Bill. He's one of those people that I love getting old with, and he does it so
I next to chocolate, Ken, I love you second.
Come on, what do you
I
love?
like learning. You know, I really love learning new things. I like inventing new things and bringing new ideas to life. I love really getting, I love working with a client and getting inside of really what's driving the business and because, in my work in terms of helping kind of create that narrative and positioning of the company, you have to really love the process. You have to really, because it's hard and you have to really listen. But I love that process. I love that kind of engagement with a team or an individual or whatever, where I feel like breakthroughs are coming through. So that's what I love.
That's interesting that you said that, Bill, because you've created your own methodology. And that methodology is something that's unique to you, and people hire you.
Yeah, and it continues to evolve, because I've been working on that book more now. I'm taking a certain percentage of my time every day and calendaring it out and working on the chapters and the structure of the book and all of that. And so, I'm actually, as you do that, and I'm trying to connect the chapters with other information out there, so it's not just Bill's thinking. So I love that exploration. I love finding those things and saying, oh God, that would be great with this. So I feel like I love being engaged like this.
Do you love where you live?
I do love where I live
Look at
right
this.
now.
You love
Well, I mean, I love the house and the place. There's room for my art, and there's room for you to come down and visit. And yeah, do I like the fact that it's 107 degrees outside right now? Maybe not.
Do you love your man?
Yeah, I do. I love Carter.
Carter, what's there not to love? I agree. I just want to make sure we all define.
He's more lovable. He's more lovable than I am. Everybody likes him better than me.
I'm impartial.
Right?
I'm impartial. Okay, so understanding, again, these are questions you need to ask yourself. I didn't answer. I love you. I'm passionately in love. Not madly in love. I don't go crazy. Go, oh, I'm passionately in.
Well, you already been there, done
All right.
that.
I love my kids, even though they drive me crazy. I love my dreams. I love what I aspire to become. I love that. I love this community.
What do you aspire to become?
Oh, in 10 years from now, I'll have 2 to 3 books, 2 movies produced, travel around the world a few times. Metal will have 150,000 members, and its brand will rival that of TED in Milken and Davos. So I love what I see my future to be. And I love heart-to-heart connections. I love it. I love it. Okay, so question 1 is, what do you love? And if you don't have a lot of love around you, what do you think? How do you reassess? What do you do? Are you just not in a good place yourself, being the person, or maybe your surroundings? I don't have an answer. I'm asking you.
You know, love is something that you can only truly create for yourself. You've seen people who are loved by all. Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Good example.
Wow, good one.
He was loved by the entire world. If you ask anyone what they thought of Robin Williams, oh, I love that guy. Oh, he's amazing. People would show up at any event he was at. They would watch any film that he put out. He had such great adoration, respect, and love.
But he didn't love himself.
He didn't love himself.
Wow.
So the only way we can truly have love is to love ourselves.
That's a great example. That's a powerful example. So he has to come internally first. So if you're not in a place where you go, I love this, love this, love this, you're just not in a good place. So now there's some self-reflection on that. Because there is love around all of us. There really is. And I remember when I went to this little town, not even a town, it was a hut in central Indonesia. And I was the very first white person they've ever seen, ever. And the first thing they did,
They went,
well, yeah, they went up to, they were like in awe. I was the first to walk out of this bus it was air conditioned, which they've never heard before. They never knew what air conditioning was. They walked in this bus and they thought it was, what has happened here? It was like wizards have come by this machine. And the first thing they did is they walked up to me and they touched my skin. And then because their noses were all flat, they started pulling at my nose. They never did this before. And then they looked at me and I looked at all of them, and they literally lived in huts that were 8 feet high because all of their excrements, their waste were below them. They didn't even go anywhere. I mean, if this was an Airbnb, you would complain, just saying. I remember the translator with us, and I would ask them all questions, and they all came up to us saying, we are so happy. We love our lives. Life is great. Not good, but great. And they all, even the young kids, had wrinkles because they smiled so much. They were so happy. So imagine having nothing in our mind, but to them, they had all that they needed to have a beautiful, bountiful life.
wow, Hollywood celebrities must look really unhappy to them because they have no wrinkles. Can you imagine like a 50-year-old woman, she shows up, they're like, oh, she's miserable.
Yeah, that's self-done. Okay, next question. Your own inner truth. Why worry what others say about you? Okay, you should have more confidence in your own opinion than everybody else's. So what is your own inner truth? How would you describe your own inner truth?
You know, I like to reflect on to having self-worth. So what is the value that you hold for yourself?
Yeah.
How do you feel about yourself? If your self-worth is really high, then you will have your own inner truth.
I think that when we're, especially now, it's easy to get depressed because we're not, sorry about that, we're not associating with other people. We're not touching, tangibly doing our job, going out. Self-worth goes down. You question, what's my value in the world? So again, define the word self-worth, or the term.
It's the value you hold for yourself.
How do we determine that? How do we justify that?
Well, the way I like to help people through that process is I like them to ask the question of not who am I?
Okay.
It's more about defining who you are, which we discussed before.
Right.
How you want to show up in the world. And then you have to go through different levels of assessing things that you've done in your past, things that you're good at, and how you make others feel.
does any dreams, aspirations apply to that also?
Yeah, it does. It does. The thing is, people always value themselves lowly in times of despair or bad moments. Things are like going downhill. And when that happens, they completely forget about everything else. And all they do is sit there and go, oh, my life sucks. This business thing didn't work out for me, or this person took all my money.
It's momentary.
It's all within the moment. It's in things that either happened in the past that were negative or things that they can't see in the future. So they get stuck in this place of negativity and they overlook and forget all of the good things that actually happened.
Instead of defining your own internal truth, you're saying worth.
Worth.
You like the word worth.
Yes, I don't like truth because people, it goes back to that question of who am I? You ask someone, who am I? And then they're going to start thinking of all sorts of stuff, and then they're not going to find value in themselves because who they think they should be or who they haven't been is all they can think of. They don't actually think of who they are in the moment. So you have to think of, what is my value? So what have I done in my life? Think of all those small moments, and how do I make myself and others feel in that moment?
So what kind of things can we ask ourselves as a question to understand what our self-worth is?
The first question I like to say is,
what?
Ask yourself, if you were to walk down the street,
Oh yeah, I like this.
you were to walk down the street and you were to run into someone that you had never seen or met before in your entire life. So it's a complete stranger. But what you didn't know was this stranger was you, right? So you're looking at yourself. You might not recognize them. They might have a different face and a different outfit. They might be taller. They might be wider, but they're you. So you don't know that it's you. And you started talking to that person, right? You have a conversation. You're talking about what you're into right now, your life, your friends, your family, music you love. At the end of that conversation, would you like that person?
That's powerful. It would be awesome to hang out with me.
Well, a lot of people go, no.
Really?
Yeah, some people say no. And I say, well, why do you say no? And they go, well, I'm not where I was supposed to be, or, this thing failed, my business failed, or I didn't get into that relationship, or my girlfriend broke up with me. And they go on and on and on. And think about it. If you were to walk down the street and strike up a conversation with someone, are you going to be like, oh, hi, I'm Sandy. Nice to meet you.
I see.
My life sucks. My girlfriend just broke
never,
up with me.
Not, never,
you're not going to talk about all the crap that happened in your life. You're going to be like, okay, what can I say to impress this person? What sounds really good? What? I like this kind of music. Oh, do you like this music too? And all of a sudden, you realize that person's super awesome because you guys like the exact same stuff. How often does that happen?
Think about this. When someone is young, all they do is to aspire to become. You judge them on what they're going to be. You talk to a 5-year-old, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be a fireman, right? And then you talk to them as they're going through high school, they're saying, oh, I can't wait to go to this college, this university. And then when they're in college, this is the job I'm going to have. So we look at someone and we judge them based upon what their future is. And then all of a sudden, midlife, we judge someone on what they have done. Oh, where'd you graduate from college? What was your degree in? What did you achieve? What did you accomplish? And we still use somewhat of what their future is going to be. Oh, so what are you going to do next? What's your next big project? So right there at that midpoint in life, it's your past that determines what you're capable of doing moving forward. It's kind of sad, right? And then when someone gets really old, all they really have is their past to determine who they are. They reminisce constantly. So as we're through this phase of life, look at someone like Robert Heller, who many of you might know. Robert's in his mid-80s. This guy talks about the future all the time, and he's part of it. Yeah. He's a unique human because he doesn't sit there and reminisce until you ask him. I'm just going to say real quick, Andrew, not a good poser. You just laying in bed watching us. I'm just saying. It's saying.
Alan.
Or Alan, yeah.
Not Andrew.
But that's all good.
Andrew, we know it's not you.
Yeah, Andrew, it's not you. It's Alan. But
I'm wounded.
I know you're wounded. I got it. I see it. But it popping up like that as we're talking about these things. I want you to be healthy, buddy. Be healthy. So as you move forward throughout life, be cautious. I think Sandy just brought this up. It's momentary. We're that point that someone asks, what's your value? And you go, oh God, I suck. Or that's momentary. If you go back and judge yourself, unless you've been in a prison most of your life probably does not look all that good because of your past. But your dreams and aspirations moving forward look great. So when I ask somebody, how are they? And if they start off negative right away, I always ask, so life isn't good at this moment. Tell me about great things you've done. Or where's your next big trip? I try to get them out of this moment point, either move back or move forward. Because this whole idea of self-worth.
I don't agree.
Okay, tell me, go ahead.
I don't agree with that at all. I think living in the past and living in the future is what makes people miserable.
Go ahead,
I think joy and sense of self live right now.
No, but
I'm either connecting, I'm either feeling the bliss and the pleasure of being here with you guys and the other guys right now. And my sense of self lives in the moment. It doesn't live, you know, oh yeah, I did all of this stuff last year and I really want to go to Tahiti sometime. I mean, that's my aspiration. All of that's fantasy land. The only thing that matters is what's in the moment and how you're feeling in the moment. And that's why I think sense of self and, you know, is much more in the moment, and it's much more about your being connected right now. Like,
that's exactly right. That's what I had mentioned earlier. You have to see who you are now. So if you're talking to someone, you're not going, oh, my life sucks because I didn't do this or I haven't done that. It's like, who are you right now? And what Ken is talking about is people who are stuck in the negative, who can't see who they are right now. What are those people? How do they come out of that? Because you know, you've met those people that are just, everything is down. My life sucks. So-and-so broke up with me. I didn't make that money. I'm losing my house. Everything sucks. Everything sucks. My life is crap. And they aren't able to see who they are now because they're lost in all of the negative.
I got to get them out of that negative.
You have the ability to bring people forward right now in the moment. Now, like, okay, yeah, fine. You know, the past is the past, you know, blah, blah, blah. What's going on right now? You bring people present, then all of a sudden, I think something really changes between the two, you know, between the two.
I think of a doctor, when a doctor comes in, they go, all right, you are sick. And sure, it's now, but they said, this is what we're going to do to get you healthy. And they talk about the process to get you to that healthy point, right? They move you through. They don't want you to dwell in the sick side of things. They want you to
yeah.
And that,
no, I agree. Yes. And that's what they want to do. And that's what we want our friends to do. And we all run into people that are not in that space, but we have the ability, because we're interacting with that person in real time, we have the ability to bring them forward into the present. You know, I mean, I think people socialize around 4 things: their passions, their shared needs, their fears, and their beliefs.
yes.
You can connect those 4 things. That's how people socialize. And you can connect with someone in the moment along any one of those 4 axes. And so, you know, to me, when I'm not feeling great about myself is when I'm thinking about all the ifs and should I get this and I didn't make it on time to the, I mean, there's so many ways that you can judge yourself positively and negatively, but it really is kind of irrelevant. It's like, what's going, I mean, I'm just dealing with that with me. So I don't know if this works for other people, but it's really, for me, it's about, you know, how much am I showing up right now? What am I doing right now to be engaged and to be, and when I'm in that space, then I feel great.
Yeah. What's beautiful about that is you, along with many others, have that capability, but there are some people, they just get stuck.
Did you read The Power of Now, Bill?
Oh yeah. Long time ago.
So very Eckhart Tolle, right? And then when you
Yeah.
meet somebody that's not appreciating the now, you almost want to say, hey, check out this book or whatever. And they may not even be in the right place to absorb why the power of now is so important. There's a great exercise Scott Page taught me. He says, if you don't appreciate the moment of now, you need to start the day by getting in the shower, turning it on, and try to feel every droplet of water hitting your skin. And just zen into that moment, right?
Right. It's about the moment. It's just about bringing your awareness, you know, bringing your mind into the now is what you're saying, right?
So now let's move a little more further. Let's go to number 3. So number 1 was, what do you love? Number 2 is, what is your inner worth? Your inner worth. I've changed it from truth to worth. Number 3 is, what are you willing to do for sacrificing to get to your goals? What are you willing to either give up or modify to reach those goals? Now, goals, Bill, of course, are future. All goals are moving forward. Losing weight, having more money, having kids, relationship. What are those goals and what are you willing to give up? Because I notice as I've gotten older, it's like, oh God, I don't want to have to do all of that to get to this.
It's true.
I mean, how many of us are in, like me in my mid 50s, do I want to do the same grunge grit work I did in my 20s as an entrepreneur? Maybe not so much. You almost question it, right? I'm impressed by you staying up to 4 o'clock in the morning working
4:30 in the morning.
working on your project. My God. Oh, Bill, again, can you clarify what those 4 connection points are? Michael wants to know. Can you say them again, Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, people socialize around their passions, their shared needs, their fears, and their shared needs, their fears, and their beliefs.
There you go. And we'll put it right side in the chat here.
That's how I think that's how people socialize.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Bill, are you willing to sacrifice the same that you did 30 years ago to get your goals now?
I think that in some ways, I'm less inclined to take risks because, when you're 20 years old, you got another 80 to go. And so I think I question, I consider risk more now, but you know what? Not as much. I'm kind of just a risk taker anyways, because you never really know what the outcome of something's going to be anyways. So you might as well just do what you think you're doing the best. And I think we all just try to do the best we can right in the moment. I mean, who wakes up in the morning and tries to figure out, oh God, I can't wait to get up so I can fuck up my life.
Well, actually,
There are people like that, I'm sure. I'm
I
sure.
had
But
an assistant that said the best thing I've ever heard. She was new. She was very young in her 20s. She started working for me, and I would give her tasks. I wouldn't tell her how to do it, and she would do it. And then she'd come back and go, Sandy, I fucked it up, but I'm not gonna fuck it up again. So you can go in with that idea. You might fuck it up, but as long as you don't do it again.
I've been watching some videos of Elon Musk, and he continually used to talk about the power of failure.
Yep.
Biggest panels I've ever put on at conferences were the panels where the CEOs were deemed as failures. Everybody would want to see those failure panels. They just want to hear it. It's like, oh my God, I did the same thing, right? And they appreciate who that person is. So I have a challenge for Sandy, and this is something we've been talking about, knowing that the world is kind of crazy right now. So crazy is the new normal.
Yeah, it is.
Just crazy is the new normal.
Crazy.
We can live in crazy. So I was suggesting that for the next year, let's just live somewhere different every month. Is that crazy? No, it's normal.
Done.
Let's just
Totally
do it.
Normal.
So in October, we're just going to start, and we were starting to throw a list together of just incredible places. Now, that would have been crazy if the world wasn't crazy, because you go, how do you do that? I mean, come on, you can't do that.
That's
Now,
crazy.
the
Who
question
does
was,
that?
what are we sacrificing to do that? Because it's a crazy goal. So I think as
Our
we get
tea drawer.
our tea drawer, yeah, my tea. Oh God, my tea. What do we have to live in suitcases for a whole year? Might be crazy, hard.
I'm sacrificing photography. I won't be doing it.
She will sacrifice photography. You'll do it there. Watch. You'll follow
If
us.
someone wants to fly to Bali and have their portraits taken,
There you go.
and then they can't have it exactly like I used to do it, it's got to be a little bit different, then I'll do it.
But what we've learned is, what does it take to mitigate sacrifice, to minimize sacrifice? That's the beauty of being a little older, because we're not just doing everything craziness. We're really modifying. And I think that's what happens when we get older. We analyze sacrifice and risk differently. Because if I'm going to do something, I know at least my team now can handle it. I built up a team knowing from the past not having a team, I risked more by not having educated people around me. Now I surround myself with educated people. But the question is, what are you willing to risk or sacrifice to get to whatever your goals are? But the question is, do you have goals? You know, Marco said earlier, he aspires to teach people nanotechnology. That's great. How do you do that? What's the tools? What's the resources? Is it publications? Is it media? Whatever it is. What does it take to get there? How much will it cost? How much time? What are the resources? What are you sacrificing? I always tell entrepreneurs this. if they're going to start a business, get excited to gain weight, lose your relationship, lose your hair, not look all that healthy, not sleep that much, probably have a few, well, you'll lose friends. Life is going to suck, but you're going to be an entrepreneur. How does that sound? I don't want to be an entrepreneur. All right, get out of here. Because if they are willing to move beyond that and risk almost everything to get to what they want, you know they got that grit to move forward. It sucks, right? I don't know about, I think we're all entrepreneurs here. All of us here are unemployable. Unemployable. There's no Bill. Bill, I've known you for almost 30 years. There is no one company you would ever work for as one company because you want to work for a whole bunch of companies. They would never allow you to work within the realm that you like to work in because you're great at what you do. Richard Burke's the same way. I think he's great at what he does, but he can't work for one company, any of you guys. But what are we willing to risk for our goals? Okay, number 4, the little victories of each day. You've taught me this. You want to do your little victory dance?
It's different every time.
So this is what I hear. So we work in different areas of the house. So we're not always in the same room. And all I hear throughout the day is a laugh or I hear feet moving around because she literally gets up and does this dance for herself because she had a victory.
I celebrate my wins. Celebrating your wins is like the most valuable thing you can do for your whole entire body because not only is it's systematically conditioning your body for happiness. Your body starts to crave it. Like my body now is like, is this a win? Is this a win? Because I want to dance this one out. And it programs your mind and your subconscious to celebrate all of the good things that are happening. So if something goes down, you're like, oh, again, I fucked it up, but I'm not going to do it again. And then when something good happens, you're like, yes. So he hears me laughing all the time. I'm doing my program and all of a sudden here, because I just did the funniest thing ever. I'm cracking up.
But you dance then too, by
and
yourself.
Then I get up and I'm like,
she does that. But celebrating those wins are so important. It is. Yeah. But sometimes I think we don't look at the little wins. We look at, oh, I finally got there. And that was this long mission. And it's like, oh, I'm old and tired now.
You know what opened my eyes up to celebrating my wins was when I was living in the negative for so long. I was bitching about everything. Like, this didn't work. And that wasn't good enough. And nobody wants me. Nobody loves me. All negative, negative, negative. And then I had set my goals on making a certain amount of money. And then one day I was bitching that I didn't have enough money. It wasn't making enough money. And I came across a video. I had made what's called a mind movie. Okay. So it's a little video. It could be like 30 seconds to a minute of what you want your future to be. So I came across this mind movie and I watched it and it was like, I want to have this life. I want to live here. I want to make, and the number was crazy. It said, I want to make $10,000 a month. And I went, oh my God.
You were thinking so small.
I was already making $30,000 a month and I was bitching that I wasn't making enough money. And I went, I need to start celebrating my wins. I never celebrated when I actually made that $10,000 consistently a month. I didn't do it. And when I saw that video years later and I was making way more than that, I went, I need to change something. And that's when I started celebrating my wins. Mom.
I've known Bill Ryan for, like I said, 30 years. And he used to be a partner at a company called Niehaus Ryan Wong. And it was the most pristine PR company in Silicon Valley. And all the big companies would go to Bill's place. And he launched some of the biggest companies on the planet. I remember when you would drive to San Francisco and you're on the 101 going north from the airport from SFO, the billboards would kind of tell you what's going on with the world with these billboards. And I remember one time I was driving with Bill. Bill goes, that's my client, my client, my client. I'm not sure if you remember that, Bill. It was a cool drive because you were pointing, that's my client, client, client. But I remember in your office, people would come in there going, hey, Bill, I just did this. And you go, yeah. And you would have like that little, like almost like, we did it, we did it. And it wasn't the whole mission, but it was all these little wins. And you would constantly celebrate these little wins with your team. Yeah. And you had such a great culture at Niehaus Ryan Wong because it wasn't about the gigantic project. It was about all the little wins.
And we always felt that we were bringing big ideas and big things to life in the world. So we really loved our clients. You know, we really thought what they were doing. There was a point in time where, you know, you could say no. You know, you could say no to the stuff that just really didn't get you excited because there were a couple other people there that wanted, you know, that you thought would be really cool and fun to work with. And and really would make a difference in the world. And so it's not always like that, as you know. But
How did you guys celebrate your wins?
yeah.
Now, how did you? How'd you celebrate the wins?
Personally, or you mean as a team and stuff?
I know how.
We used to take our teams out, and I mean, we did all kinds of things. I probably had chocolate in the refrigerator or something to give out his compensation.
You had a good refrigerator there. Bill and Carter at one point in time had the second highest house in San Francisco. But during their parties, they were the highest house in San Francisco.
Yeah, unless we were entertaining.
Yeah, unless we were entertaining. Number one. But you would do the most epic gatherings to celebrate the wins. You would do.
Yeah.
They were epic.
No, that was a great house. We had a lot of fun in that place. Yeah, in that house, and did a lot of fun things.
Let's go over to Montana. Michael in Montana. Let's unmute you. How do you celebrate your wins?
You know, sometimes I'm just too busy to celebrate my wins. My son Jackson just got in the car, so
got some damn good hair.
So Jackson, this is Ken and Sandy. They are Ken founded metal. Sandy just like knows everything about psychology and relationships and whatnot. And we're on a call right now with a bunch of other people.
Thanks.
And Jackson wanted to come to LA and hang out. So anyways, so now he's in the car listening as well. So your question was about how do I celebrate my wins?
How do you celebrate your wins? Because you just have,
usually it's a group celebration.
It's a group.
Go ahead.
Michael's in.
Yeah. Usually it's a family celebration. So.
Like you just finished the manuscript for your book. How did you celebrate?
Sorry. Well, it's we actually haven't celebrated that per se, but what we've done is celebrated milestones. So it would be like, a family trip to a water park that we have near our place called the Oasis. We have done that. We've done like ice cream trips to McDonald's. I know it's not that exciting, but when you have 6 kids,
I know the McDonald's ice cream.
that's kind of how you do it. So
that's good ice cream. Just saying, okay? It's not that bad.
Where are you driving to right now?
Right now I'm driving, I think running home, right? Yeah. So, yep, driving home. So I went and picked him up, and then we're headed back to the house.
Yeah, that book is a big deal.
You do.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for contributing. So wins are important, and making sure that you're always going, hey, we did it, or I did it. Mm-hmm. Right now is a tough time.
But that's why it's even more important to celebrate those wins.
How are you doing it, Jesse? How are you celebrating your wins? Unmute yourself, Jesse.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Yeah, hello. Awesome that I got the email. I'm glad I'm here. I don't.
Wait, Jesse, just so the people understand in the group, tell us about some of your most down parts of your life, the lowest points of your life. Just paint that picture of your most lowest points in your life.
Yeah, I have a story about how I woke up in an alley here in Hollywood with no sandals, no shoes, no cell phone, no shirt, drunker than hell, covered in my own filth. I was a 22-year raging alcoholic. In the last 3 or 4 years here in the heart of Hollywood, I pushed the boundaries of what safety should have allowed me to survive through. One too many waking up on a sidewalk, just covered in blood, not even sure where it came from. So I've definitely felt, the drug addiction, luckily didn't claim me, but I think the alcoholism almost did.
So different world now, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.5 years. My book went bestseller this summer. I was just featured on Fox and NBC News affiliate in San Antonio, teaching about college success habits. My coaching program has launched, and I have another one coming out that's doing very well. I train realtors now using NLP to help them with sales. My world is 180. And when I say I don't celebrate, I don't say that just, flippantly to get some sort of reaction. When I did the news thing, I was like, okay, great. What next? That's my response to myself when I do things that are really good. I love that Sandy has like do a little jig or something, right? Like I want to join TikTok just to make videos of me dancing like a bozo, because I think that's to be a good way to celebrate. So I love that you dance, because I mean, literally, I saw myself on the news. I got it on the internet. I put it on Facebook. People started saying awesome stuff. And all I kept thinking was, what next, dude? What next?
So, you know, I would love for you to come up with a little dance. And one of the dances I actually do with Ken's son is we like to floss. You know, the floss is where you go like this. So when we do something that we win, we floss. Yes, there it is. Do your little floss. Hard to see it on this camera, but you can floss, because when you physically move your body, it programs it into your mind. It gives you that sensation, and it causes you to actually crave that joy. So you want to bring that out. You want to make that movement happen. So come up with a little dance. And even if it's little for like 10 seconds, where you're like, whatever it is, as goofy as you possibly can, it just puts that into your core and your being, and it makes you happier overall. And you are one person who has a lot to celebrate.
Oh yeah. So
you should be doing that very often.
I will start doing that. And what's funny is when I first got sober, I love trance music. Armin van Buuren's A State of Trance. And I would turn that stuff up so loud, and I've got lights in my room so I can turn this whole thing into like a little club, and I would dance so much more. And it's almost like I've got used, my reference point is beginning to adjust, right? So back when I was sober and I'd have an accomplishment, I was only 3 months away from being asleep in an alley. Now I'm 3.5 years away from being asleep and passed out drunk in an alley, or waking up at the LA police station. And so it's almost like I forgot where I've come from.
Yeah,
Maybe
you know what? It'd be great if you could turn on that music right now and do yourself a little dance. I'm just saying.
It's killing it. I'm so proud of you, Jesse. I really am. When you went to our program, our speaker program, I remember it's like, he's not that good of a speaker. And all of a sudden, like 6 hours later, it's like, what just transformed in front of us? That was incredible. It was almost like you were doing like a con game on us, where, all right, I'm going to really make it horrible. And then, bam!
He had his poker face on.
Yeah, he has poker face on. Awesome, Jesse. I like to hear that. Hey, we got 2 more, and we're getting close on time. Number 5, these are questions you need to ask yourself, and that is, how do you help others? How do you make sure? Now, this is important. Let's talk about the oxygen mask.
Yeah, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. So helping others doesn't mean, okay, what can I do now to help everyone who asks everything of me? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being in a place of service. So you are feeling fulfilled. You love yourself. You put yourself first. You're doing your little happy dance. Everything's great. Now take that feeling of amazement and joy and wondrous, like bliss. How can you share it with others? So how can you help others? How can you serve other people? So he was saying, put your oxygen mask on first, which means before you help someone else, make sure you take care of yourself. You love yourself, because if you are on an airplane and you have a child sitting next to you and you need to put them in their seat properly and put their mask on them, but you didn't do it to yourself first, and then you flew out of your seat and died, they die too. So if you put your mask on first really fast and you buckle yourself in and you're super good, and then you take care of them, you have the mindset and wherewithal to make sure you do it correctly, as opposed to being flung out of your seat and you both die.
Yeah.
So
being of service is great, but not 100% of service to everyone else.
Yeah.
It's not, even in clergy, when I was studying to be a priest, they taught us about self-maintenance, to always energize ourselves. We heard the love bucket scenario over and over again, making sure you have your own love bucket. It's always filled so you can give to others, because many of us are giving out empty love buckets, and it's not sincere, it's not real, and it's draining, and it destroys. Well, there's a bunch of guys in metal that I know that always are of service, and then you look at them, they haven't really helped themselves.
And they're miserable.
They are miserable.
And they're stressed out. And they're
Constantly.
depressed. And then they're not getting the love back from others. And what did we say in the very first topic? You have to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, it doesn't matter what other people are doing, because you could have someone who says they love you, and then you do one thing, tips them over the edge because you broke one of their internal rules, and they don't love you anymore. So now what are you going to just destroy your life over that? No, love yourself first.
Can I make a simple suggestion? And it's a tough one to do right now. And that is, when you go off and get something from somebody, like if you're at a restaurant or whatever, don't just tip them if you can, even on the check. I just did this a couple of times, especially when I get a check that I could write, the actual bill. I write, have a great day, you did a great job, a smiley face or something besides the tip. So when they look at it, it sticks out a little more. So I'm making sure that I'm going just one little extra, and it's small, right? Or what I do, and you know this, when I go to Starbucks, I try to pay for the people behind me, or I try to do something to where it's a play it forward. Just something simple, because it does make a difference.
I like to point out things on people that I notice. So like beautiful
You do
eyes,
this all the time.
great outfit, amazing service. I like to even point out if like a server is serving another table super well and the people didn't appreciate it, I say, I noticed how kind you were to them. Little things like that allow people to go, I'm seen. Somebody cares about me. And you could change someone's entire world by saying one kindness.
One last stupid thing, and I love doing pre-tipping. I've talked about this before, and that is a lot of times right now, people are concerned they're not going to get tips at restaurants. So in my mind, 20% is good. So we figure out, oh, it's going to be $100 for the check. So I give them $20 before we even order. I go, here's 20 bucks. This is your pre-tip. And they go, pre-tip, what's this for? I go, you're going to do a great job. Already know you are. So can you do us a favor? She does not like red meat. She doesn't eat, she only eats fish and great proteins that are not fowl or red meat. Come up with a great meal plan for her. Same thing for me. Just go crazy. Don't even let us look at the menu. And they already got their tip, and they're so happy now because they know that they've been appreciated before it even happens.
Our iced tea is filled. Our
Everything
food is hot.
changes. Just saying. It's
We drop a
great
fork and it's replaced before we can even look down. Like,
Is it okay? Do you like what I served you? No problem. I'll give you something new. I'm just saying pre-tip is one of the coolest little things, and they love it. All right, last thing. These are 6 things that I came up with that I've been watching you through your program, Sandy and Focus, and that is the conversations you should be having with yourself. Number 1, again, was, do you remember what these are?
what do you love?
What do you
Should
love?
be yourself.
Number 2 is what are your internal, what's your worth, your personal worth, your
Self-worth, yeah.
self-worth. Number 3,
What are you going to sacrifice for your goals?
number 4, what's your little victories? A little dance. Come on, come on. Got to get that dance going there. Oh, okay, wait, now. Need a little room for that. Number 5, make sure you're helping others. And number 6, do you want to try that one right here?
The immediate reality of your own happiness.
This goes right to Bill. All right, this is what Bill Ryan was saying is about living in the now. Not what you love, which is different.
Not where you want to be.
No, that's future.
Not where you've been.
No, that's your history. What makes you happy? Not love. What makes you happy? Bill likes, I think Bill, chocolate makes him happy.
Yes. Bill, I've got some great chocolate for you. I'm just saying. Really great chocolate. I'll bring
And I know our kids
Too happy.
love. Yeah, look at Bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate.
I'm from Switzerland. Need not say more.
So when we look at what makes us happy, Richard Burke sends me these stupid little emojis or something, and I look at it and I go, oh, it's from Richard, and it makes me smile, right? Or hearing you laugh and you're by yourself makes me happy, right? Or if I bring something home and you go, oh my God, I didn't expect that, makes me happy. So what are those things that are those little moments? Remember Pop Rocks when you were young? You put them in your mouth and go pop, 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 and they're really cool. Like, oh my gosh, these are awesome. What are those Pop Rocks inside your heart that make your face smile?
For me,
What?
it's after metal on Saturdays.
Yeah.
When you come upstairs like this.
It was good. It was good. Yeah. It was good. Oh, the speaker was great. Oh my gosh. I love that too, right? Because it's like, oh God, the whole week led up to that, and I enjoy them hopefully as much as everybody else did. But what are those things? And let's go out to you. Hey, Matt, we haven't heard from you. What are those things that give you immediate happiness?
Swimming with dolphins
Wow, how often can you do that one?
in Santa Monica Bay. I this last week.
Wow.
I didn't even know you could do that here. Surprise!
3 weeks ago, there was a baby calf this big. It must have been a week old that passed by with adults on either side. That was the most euphoric I have felt for a long time.
That is amazing. Wow. We should have helped you to last.
And the bonus about all that is I've been a swimmer for, since college, not competitively, just for my own gratification and well-being. I lived on the boardwalk, on the bike path on the beach for 5 years, and I was afraid to swim in the ocean. I've only been swimming in the pool for all of these years, and this pandemic, because my local pools have closed or were closed, forced me to conquer my fear and do ocean swims.
I love it.
I love that.
And look at how you were rewarded.
Unbelievable. I mean, I conquered my fear. I'm doing ocean swims every other day. I've been swimming with dolphins that are not confined in SeaWorld or some resort. And that's been amazing.
I blame all your fears, by the way, on Shark Week. Just saying, okay?
No,
Seriously. No kidding.
What was that, Matt?
Yeah, well, sometimes, what I sometimes think, and I was telling Neil Cannon this, that, sometimes I think that in the world that we live in, if you connect emotionally or spiritually with something, it picks up these vibes. And I sometimes think that if I'm thinking fear about sharks while I'm swimming, a shark is going to pick that vibe up. And so I have to push that vibe out of my mind and just get rid of it and think to myself, well, maybe the dolphins will surround me and protect me.
And they're known for that.
Right.
It's the
So what has made me happy is that I've been active all of my life, and I put that as a priority in my work life, in going through law school, grinding it out. It was like every day I have to do something physical. Got to be active. That is a important point for me in my life. And so I've continued to do that. And what's made me happy is going mountain biking again. Once the trails opened, then I could go mountain biking again and see the eagles above and a fox run ahead of me, and fortunately enough, not run over any rattlesnakes this summer. But I've seen them. And those are the kinds of things that make me happy.
I like hearing that. You're very, very descriptive too. Matt, great ones. Let's go over to Andrew. Andrew, what makes you happy?
Open spaces, being in nature, swimming in the ocean.
With
Love
dolphins
that.
Or with manatees?
That I have not tried, but sure.
God, dolphins.
And playing with my kid.
Yes. Make you happy, right? It's like
it's unbelievable. It's pure joy.
Yeah, I love hearing this. I really do. Marco, I'm guessing a good bottle of wine, right?
Yes, but helping students understanding science, I think that's the first one. So it's helping students with their science, playing soccer, and sharing a meal with friends with a glass of wine.
I love that, Marco. I really do. Well, guys, it's so important to make sure that we ask ourselves these questions. Are we living in the moment, as Bill Ryan would say perfectly, loving ourselves, understanding our personal self-value, making sure that we do see the things that are wonderful around us and know what we love, not just take things for granted, right? But also knowing that happiness is, it's right there. It's right around us. I know we're living through tough times, but these tough times are just a challenge to make us see things even in better light. Any last words from you?
Yes, for all of you water lovers, you have to get one day the opportunity on your list of things to do to ride bareback on a horse in the ocean as it swims. If you love swimming with dolphins or you love swimming in general, bareback on a horse swimming in the ocean is like the most euphoric feeling you've ever experienced in your life. So try it.
I've done that. It's pretty cool.
Isn't it pretty cool?
Thank God for just raising the bar on all of us. And that is it, everyone. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. We'll be back next Tuesday, 1 o'clock PST. We want to thank you very much for sharing time with us, and we'll see you all later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.